Eve didn't come from a rib. The creation story and its Kemetic origins. The story of Adam and Eve originated in ancient Kemet as a deep esoteric concept that Christian fathers obviously didn't understand, or they deliberately twisted it like a cruel satirical expression. The Genesis story of Adam and Eve has been justification for the subjugation of women in all the Abrahamic religions for centuries. The original esoteric concept recognizes the feminine aspect as an equal and indispensable half of creation and not an afterthought as in Genesis. In ancient mythology, woman does not come from a man. In other words, nothing can be born from a man, so woman has to be first. Taking Eve from the rib of Adam is symbolically, metaphorically, and anthropomorphically unnatural. It's the only unnatural birth in the Bible if you view it as a historical event. It wasn't historical and actually expressed deep metaphysical concepts. The story of Adam and Eve originated from the scrolls of ancient Kemet and the book of the sayings of the Lord. Women in ancient Africa were not relegated to a subservient place in society like it's been done with any society that has subscribed to the Abrahamic religions. They were the seat of the home and had all rights and privileges as any man. On an esoteric level, the feminine represented the environment and foundation of anything that was created. Woman and man were seen as two halves of a whole in ancient African society that could not exist without the other. The mythology informed those in society of these ideas. The masculine-feminine connection brings us to the ancient Kemetic concept of Tum. Tum is the Egyptian name for the concept of the desire creation has to exist. Human desire is a metaphor for this fundamental aspect of nature. The idea comes from the Egyptian Gospel of Tum, or Sayings of the Lord. The Egyptian Gospel of Tum became the Gnostic Gospel of Thomas. Thomas means twin in its Greek origin. You will see the direct connection to twin, Tum, and Thomas idea quickly when understanding the origin of the myth from its foundation in numerology. Yes, I said numerology. Without the understanding of its numerology origin, the myth is just a story that can be reinterpreted as history, just as Christianity did with the story of Adam and Eve. The Christian fathers basically had to make up the idea of Eve coming from Adam's rib to try and stay true to the original concept. But the idea that woman came from man goes against all metaphysical, mystical, and natural science. Nature was man's first teacher. Without the foundation of the feminine as the anthropomorphic womb, no seed could be planted and be nourished. I'm using our modern term science, but it has a connotation that is separate from spirituality and metaphysics. For the ancients, spirituality was any aspect of life. They didn't separate it from life. They knew first and foremost that you and we are all spiritual beings having a human experience. Therefore, science meant learning how to use the laws of nature in your everyday life. That included metaphysical laws. Everything the ancients did connected spirit and matter in ways we've forgotten. Letters and numbers originally were symbols to express and connect concepts of spirit and not just empty words. The sounds of the words were important because they literally would cause the brain and body to vibrate at a certain frequency. You'll see what I mean moving forward. You will also see very quickly how Christianity butchered the original meaning and intent of the Genesis story. I'm going to touch very briefly on this subject in this video, but know that it is only the surface of a vast amount of esoteric wisdom taught in the Egyptian Kemetic spiritual system. Tum as a Kemetic netter is the personification of the initial desire of creation to create. Tum is the abstract idea of the potential within creation to become. The mythological story is that Tum is said to have created the universe when he took his phallus in his grasp so that he may create joy within himself. In other words, Atum masturbated. The hand came to represent the feminine aspect based on the principle of numbers the myth was expressing. What he did is not the message, nor is it a sin. The ancients didn't have the puritanical views on sexuality that became such a part of Christianity. This is how so much of the original meanings got lost. Christians taught that it was a blasphemy to equate anything sexual with God. The message is that tomb had to first generate desire within. Masturbation is symbolic of generating strong desire. I just gave you the science behind manifesting anything in your life. The first aspect you must have is the desire, or nothing is ever put out into the universe to manifest. Some